WolfPunch.
It's an exciting night, to be honest.
Yeah, it sure is. Because there's a storm brewing and we're talking about the new Hellboy movie.
That's why I'm excited.
Yes.
For the last several years, I've been really into Hellboy. I have like a Hellboy blog,
Yes.
Hellboy YouTube channel.
So this means a lot to
Yeah,
you.
this is like,
He's got the Hellboy cosplay in his closet and everything.
we always, like, I have a tradition where, you have it too, where we get together and watch Hellboy and eat
And
ice
that
cream.
red paint makes us sick, but we cover ourselves in it. So everybody, we're WolfPunch, and if you haven't guessed, talking about the new Hellboy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was bad.
End of review.
Aww. Because the world really needed a Hellboy reboot.
Well, we went to see this at, except camp, we went to see this at midnight.
The witching hour.
Yeah, I saw this at midnight this morning.
That's not.
I know.
That's not how that works.
No.
Don't waste
I don't
our
even-
listeners' time with your bullshit, Michael. Neither of them have time for it. Anyway.
It's a lot of time talk.
So, Dan, what did you think of Hellboy?
I was not sober when I watched this film.
No.
That helps.
And I thought it was a lot of really dumb fun.
Really?
Like, this is absolutely not a good movie. Like, there's this giant fucking list of shit that's wrong with it and why it's not good. But I like ultraviolence and gore.
Hey, so do I, and I was also not sober.
There was a point in this movie, maybe I was more fucked up than I thought I was, but I was just watching this, and it's like anything dumb and like poorly, like ill-conceived from like a directorial or filmmaking standpoint,
Whole movie?
kind of makes me enjoy it more as I'm watching it just happen and unfold.
Oh my god.
Like, if it was like watching like Evil Dead, but really bad filmmaking.
Yeah, yeah, kind of.
And I don't know why that just kind of like that made me happy.
There are a lot of things on paper that I liked about this movie. I love, I like Hellboy the character. I love Ian McShane. I love ultraviolence. I love folklore, evil.
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of reasons to be like, this I could watch this, but it was not good at all, and I hated it. My friend Adrian, sitting next to me, and after the movie, he said, I kept looking over at everybody to see their reactions during the movie, and he was like, every time I looked at you, you were resting your head in your hands, and you just looked so mad. And I was like, yeah, that's about right. Hellboy annoyed the hell out of me. I love that character, and I don't think David Harbour is a bad actor, but he was in this. He was yelling everything the entire time, in like the worst possible line delivery. And none of his like jokes landed. He's just like, yeah, this isn't gonna work out because I'm a Capricorn and you're fucking nuts. And I'm like, what? This is horrible.
I like your delivery of that.
This is the exact same delivery, Michael.
No, yours
Verbatim.
Yours was better.
David Harbour's Hellboy is just me drunk talking about Blade Runner. Or something. It's like
Oh god.
just yelling nonsense that no one wants to hear.
Don't be down on yourself like that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I wouldn't.
Yazin.
I would rather listen to you yell about Blade Runner.
Yeah, this movie feels like it got the Josh Whedon script doctor treatment to like every line has to be ended in a quip.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they're all bad.
Yeah, Josh Whedon.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, so
This is the last thing I ever thought I would be saying, but I wouldn't do that to Joss Whedon. Like I can't stand Joss Whedon as a guy, but like
he writes better jokes.
Yeah, he writes better jokes
his
than
quips are at least competent.
Yeah.
Like
That's apt. Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
So what is the movie about? Tell us about the plot of.
Crap. So
That is a good sign.
really,
no.
hey, I'll give you the
Yeah,
summary.
go
All
ahead.
right, I didn't pay attention for a lot of this movie, but I know the summary. Long time ago, there was like a war between like demons and humans, and then King Arthur showed up at like a treaty meeting with this like evil witch, and he fucking killed the witch.
was she evil?
Or not, he didn't kill her. He like chopped her up into pieces,
Yeah.
and they hid the pieces everywhere. And years later, the witches, they dug up the piece of her body. They're putting her back together. She's coming back to wreak havoc. Hellboy, who is the child from hell, demon man, grown up
boy,
child,
must stop her from evil.
Yep.
That's the plot, right?
While also fighting against the prophecy that he too will be like one that destroys mankind and stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Sure.
Everyone's a huge dick to him, and he's trying to be a good guy, but
So he
looks so ugly.
it's kind of like Anakin Skywalker in that regard, you know.
You just love Anakin, don't you?
Okay.
That's why you liked this movie.
Like sometimes, like critics will complain that like superhero movies only tell, one story where they're like, oh, every Spider-Man story deals with fucking Uncle Ben dying, and every Batman movie we have to remember how his parents got shot, get over it. And it's like Hellboy. It's kind of weird that it's like this is the third Hellboy movie that they've made, and it's another reboot for some reason. Well, we know why.
Because Del Toro didn't want to make 3. Yeah.
Well, from what I hear, he wasn't offered he wasn't able to write it. They only gave him like producer and director credit, and he wanted to write and direct, so he didn't do it. And then without him, Ron Perlman dipped out.
Yeah.
Because Mike Mignola and whatever fucking nightmare of a person that wrote this piece of shit were originally,
there were multiple people. Yeah.
Yeah. They were originally writing a third Hellboy movie, and it fell through. So they were like, let's just make a pile of shit instead. Yeah. We'll talk about the tone of the movie in a minute, but fuck, I forget what I was talking about. I forget what I was saying. There's just so much I hate about this movie that my brain.
You were talking about the superhero movies always tell one story.
Oh yeah, you go back to making another movie about Hellboy is prophesized to bring forth Armageddon.
Yeah.
All right, now this works fine in the 2004 Hellboy movie, where general audiences have no idea who Hellboy is, and you also have to kind of explain, why does he have a rock for a hand? Somebody tell me that. Now that we already know who Hellboy is, and we already know that he's not really going to do that, you're not watching the movie and you're like, yeah, I bet maybe at the end of this he really will kill everyone on Earth. You don't think that at any point. So why retread that story?
That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I would like that better.
If you actually kill everyone on
The best
Earth.
part of this movie was seeing ridiculous giant monsters pull people apart.
Well, plus then when he was like that flash forward to the possible future where he was riding a fucking dragon through like hell.
With the flaming sword, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Heavy metal shit.
Yeah, that was fun, and I'd be like, yeah, I guess that would just be a better movie. It was like, Hellboy, I'm evil. Hope I'm not late to the party.
Wow, he's hell, dude.
He is Hell Dude in this entire movie, by the way. He just,
Is Hell Dude like a Hellboy character, or is that just
no, it's just
okay.
the way. That's just a good summary of his behavior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Just sure.
Ron Perlman's Hellboy, he just looks exactly like Ted Danson, and he has that like dry, like quippy sense of humor, where it's like he's talking about, I'm thinking about getting hair plugs myself to spare this idiot's feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
Hellboy's really funny, and he's a likable character,
yeah.
and I love him. And then in this movie, he's like a teenager. He's like, my dad doesn't love me. And I'm like, what is this? It's just so weird and bad. He just behaves like a fucking child the whole movie, which fits the tone of the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I don't know what this movie like wanted. Like, on one hand, it was like a bit like it was ultra violence, like monsters everywhere, which was fun. Yeah, it was cool. But
great.
then, like every once in a while, every scene with the main antagonist, and every scene with the main antagonist girl, she like
Nimue.
yeah, she just
Nimrod.
like yeah, fucking right.
Well, that's also
like,
Nimrod is a character from mythology. Also, like his story, he was an emperor.
an X-Man villain.
Yeah, it's also a Super Sentinel X-Men.
But like every scene, like she would all like from the second scene she was in, she was trying to convince Hellboy like to like marry or rule by her side because the world didn't understand her. And they tried to do this plot where like you don't understand my side of the story. It's actually man who's evil, which would
from
be
her point of view, the Jedi are evil.
it could be an interesting story, but they didn't care about that story. They just threw it in as like some weird motivation for her not to kill Hellboy right away, or like to her to string him away.
You know?
Yeah,
the whole thing
yeah.
It was a device for having him like have some sort of conflict in the film.
It did, but it didn't register. It was just like they did it better in the last two movies. Literally, the second movie they do it a million times better. And it's just like they just threw it in. They didn't care. It was like, and it's like, oh, that could be an interesting story. Or if you went all in on ultra violence, but they like tried to.
They do go all in on
They
ultra
absolutely
They do,
did.
but they don't put enough of a plot for me to give a shit about the ultra violence. Like, I know you loved it, Dan.
Well,
but,
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, you don't like really. If you watch this movie sober, like, just have your phone out and like wait till the action scenes come on and be like, "Fuck yeah, that troll's head just got split open."
Yeah.
So basically, what Yezin did was ignore it and then moments of laughing at it.
I was on my phone like the whole movie.
Oh yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
like,
There's like no one in our theater. The people sitting, the dude sitting in front of me was like legit fingering his girlfriend. Like, I don't.
That's why you come to
it's
Hellboy,
fine.
man.
Like, the guy sitting next to me, legit, like 5 minutes in the movie, kept falling asleep and snoring.
Tell you.
Like, I was like, "Why are you here?"
It's like Kyle went with you.
Yeah.
It was like that couple, like two other dudes, and then like a woman with her like 8-year-old son.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah.
At midnight.
There were kids at my showing too. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's not as weird at noon,
Yeah.
but like I mean, it is a rated R movie. Right?
yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, it didn't help. Even like before the movie, there were trailers where people were just dropping f-bombs.
Was the guy like fingering his girlfriend during like all the Baba Yaga scenes with like the old hat?
It was like right in front of you. I don't know how.
I was watching the movie. That's why I go to the theater.
Yeah,
Not
for the
to-
theater experience
Yeah.
of girlfriends getting.
Okay. Enough about the sex. We shouldn't have brought that up in front of Michael. Enough about the sexual relations. I guess for me, like, I just couldn't bring myself to care about this movie at all. Like, I don't even, I often come down really hard on movies like this, but this time, like, I don't even, like, I just don't know who this was for. Like, we joke about, like 13-year-olds in 2003, but, like, I don't know who this is for. Like, none of it really landed with me at all.
See, I know this. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. Is like, it's 2019, and so we could do all of these like retrospectives of movies from 1999. And I was, walking around thinking about Deep Blue Sea, where I'm like, wow, this is such a fucking great movie. Where it's like it's bad, but it knows exactly what it is, and it doesn't try to be anything else. Except, you're watching this movie because you want to see people get eaten by sharks.
Yeah.
You don't care about the science or anything. We're just going to make a dumb movie, but we're going to make it really well. And I was like, man, why don't they do, like, R-rated movies for kids anymore? That's so much fun. And then I was like, oh, wait, they do. And R-rated movies for kids are stupid. Because this is basically like, okay, so we're going to do an R-rated Hellboy movie. And that means, it's going to be like a Deadpool thing where, like, kids are going to go because it's, like, superhero property. And because it's rated R, they're going to love it. So that means they're going to say fuck a whole lot. Because we know that we can now. And it's just like such an immature, dumbass movie. Which, I mean, again, not that it has to be highbrow. Like, the Del Toro Hellboy movies aren't exactly works of art.
No, but they're just so well crafted.
They are. They're very well crafted.
They know what they're trying to do and they execute it perfectly.
Well, it's because, like, you're taking a weird character. Yeah, I don't know about perfectly.
I think so. I just watched them today after this train wreck, and I was blown away with how good they are.
I mean, they play, like, you look at the first Hellboy movie, and I mean, it plays it just about as safe as it possibly can, where they're like,
Yeah.
so we're making a movie about a demon from hell.
And you have like the most bland POV character ever.
Yeah,
It's such
John
a-
Myers.
He was
worst.
low down the one part I did not like.
Let's get the human equivalent of a loaf of white bread to be our POV, and
We
then
got
you
Patrick Wilson.
he wasn't popping at the time. So.
Aaron Taylor Johnson wasn't available in
Yeah.
2004.
And I mean, like, so you're just following like this bland guy, and they introduce like a romance that wasn't in the comics, but it's something that like the audience can latch onto. Of like this big red evil Satan boy likes a girl, and he has issues with his father. But they all kind of work in that movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like his daddy issues in the first Hellboy, they're great. They work fine because you always know as soon as you like watch those movies where you're like, yeah, at some point his dad is gonna die, and you'll probably realize that he loved him.
Well, early on in that movie, they say that he's sick and dying.
Yeah,
so.
they get that out of the way real quick in a fucking great scene where they're playing like "We'll Meet Again" by Vera Lynn, and fucking Nazi stabs him in the neck, and John Hurt dies, and he's dead now in real life too. And he was the Horned King, bringing it back to the Black Cauldron. That doesn't matter at all. Anyway, I was like, that scene works. It's fine. It's not complicated, but it plays out. When you watch this, I love Ian McShane so much, but I'm like, why'd you do it?
I haven't seen Ian McShane in the thing I've liked so far.
You didn't like Hot Rod?
I guess Hot Rod's the only one.
Ooh, I was about to say, if you didn't like Hot Rod,
You're out of the podcast.
we're about to be a
I love
three-person
Hot Rod.
This
podcast.
is literally a rule now.
Yeah.
If you don't like Hot Rod, you're out.
Yeah.
I do like Hot Rod. Hot Rod's real good.
Yeah.
Hot Rod's best.
Hot takes about Hot Rod.
Yeah, all right.
But he, like, it's so easy to make him just, like, a piece of shit dad. Like, I liked the first
He's great
one. It's
at
like, oh, he's
Yeah.
such a nice, like, he's a nice dad, but they still have a complicated relationship. That's more of an interesting story than, like, oh, yeah, he's a piece of shit, so that's why their relationship's complicated. Like,
Wasn't that big a piece of shit.
He really wasn't.
He wasn't that big of a piece of shit, but enough that it was just like, I've seen this story.
Maybe it's just
I've
because I
seen
like
this.
Ian McShane, but I was like, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say, like, I thought that was one of the things that, like, not that was like a slam dunk or anything, but kind of was like the spit that held the toothpicks together a little bit was the relationship and focus on that.
Yeah, I honestly I wish that like it was just because you know exactly how it's going to play out.
Yeah.
I wish that it was like maybe a little more developed. Everything in this seems like half thought.
Yeah.
Like Michael was telling me, oh, he thought it was really cool when like the Osiris Society or whatever the British nerds are betray Hellboy.
Yeah.
He was like, I thought that was cool, and I was like, I thought that was so stupid because for a while there, I thought that they lured Hellboy into a trap, lying about 3 giants
Oh, yeah, spoiler
that he has
alert.
to kill, and then they fucking try to murder Hellboy. And then 3 giants show up and kill them. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you all stupid? Like,
It's
what
dramatic irony.
Yeah.
Do you not understand how cinema works, Kyle?
I guess not.
Yeah. I was like, oh, they like left fake tracks and then they all get murdered. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just idiots.
Well, I guess this leads me to a part where I'm gonna say that I didn't really enjoy I'm not like a big violence guy, but
Yeah.
I also like didn't think the violence in this was good.
Not much of it. I thought some of it was
Like,
well, I mean,
watching Hellboy fight the giants was just so like bad.
yeah, I didn't like it.
It was just like not. I don't know what the word is to describe it. There was just something about the way the camera moved around in that scene that legitimately felt like it was like trying to save money. You know what I mean? Like,
No, not at all.
I
actually.
thought it was the opposite of that, like a very dizzying, overdone sequence.
but that's what I mean. Is that like, yes, but it kind of always didn't show you like. It felt like everything was like limited in terms of how characters were interacting with their environment. Like
That's
it's
called
like,
bad CGI.
Yeah,
That's not called limited budget.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
just called
well-
shitty special effects.
Well, that's what I mean. Is that shitty special effects is in a sense just like less work on the special effects. Like it means like cutting corners and not doing. Like, well, we don't want to animate like the leaves, so there's gonna be no tree. Like that's shitty.
So you can't get a baby to hold still for 10 hours while they put red makeup on it. So here's a shitty CGI red baby.
Yeah. That
Now we're going to
Baby
talk about
Hellboy.
Lobster Johnson.
Oh my god.
Lobster Johnson was amazing.
That's the point of this movie. I realized like I love this film.
I
This is so dumb.
want a
love it.
lobster. Like at that point, I was like, I don't want a Hellboy movie. I want a Lobster Johnson movie.
Beware my claws.
See, that part would have been amazing if it was black and white and had like a film grain on it and it was winking at me and I like could tell that it was like trying to be cheesy.
No, because then we wouldn't have gotten like the fucking Nazis with the giant bright like blue and
God.
fucking red 3D glasses and shit that have Nazi logos on them, so
Yeah.
you know how Nazi they are.
Could have done without that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's another thing that I really don't like about it, other than the fact that I thought the action sequences were actually pretty bad. I actually hated the bastardization of history and folklore throughout the movie.
See, I don't.
I actually hate it.
Wow.
I don't
This
agree.
is not the movie or franchise for you, sir.
I figure, but
I love folklore. And
I love folklore, but I don't like when people just like name drop folklore.
Sure.
And Rasputin was there, and King Arthur. Oh, Merlin of the Wild Hunt. Get it? Because that's a thing. It's like no, that is the shittiest possible way to use folklore.
Sure.
Use the story with some like recognition of what this story means rather than just like name dropping. And that's the kind of folklore this movie uses, and it's the worst kind.
See, I'll agree with you to a point where like there are things that like pop up that I'm like, oh, this could be cool. This could be fun to work into it. Rasputin, that doesn't bother me. I love anything with like.
It's not just folklore; it's history too. Yeah.
Sure, I love everything with Nazis and the occult. I think it's like a bunch of fun. The best villain in all the Hellboy movies is the dried up Nazi bastard that looks so fucking cool and has those blades and he's full of dust.
He's awesome.
That's what you want in a villain, a good dusty Nazi.
And I mean, Rasputin is,
Dusty
at least in the
bones full of
comics, he
green
was like
dust.
one of the first big villains. So I mean, him being in it doesn't bother me. It was mostly like
This scene was done a lot better in 2004.
yeah, it was done better before. I'm like, oh my god, like why do I have to watch this scene but worse now? Like Lobster Johnson was the only thing that made that scene.
And he looked horrible. It was just somebody like brushed off Thomas Hayden Church and like put him in an ill-fitting costume. Where Lobster Johnson has a great design, and then it's just like a little portly Sandman with a mask that doesn't fit.
I don't know. Well, that whole scene is just so fucking ridiculous because it just takes the tone of the film and just like grabs it by the throat and immediately like throws it into like cheeseball camp, like fucking Adam West style Batman bullshit.
Yeah.
Where it's literally the moment when they say, and then the legendary Nazi killer Lobster Johnson shows up.
I think they just called him the Lobster.
Or the Lobster,
I don't think
yeah.
they had the heart to say.
They still
Lobster
said
Johnson.
legendary Nazi killer Lobster like shows up, and even like is branding people with this little fucking claw icon. And he's like saying what? Beware the claw.
Yeah.
Beware my claw.
Beware my claw. And that's where I just realized.
So the devil knows who sent you.
Yeah, like this is just kind of like I love it for it being so bad and dumb. Like it makes me love it more because it's just doing everything so wrong, and it just doesn't care.
See, and
I wish I could.
I wish
I
normally
could take
I'm
this journey with
on
you.
that camp, but like something about like. But I think too, just I hate it even more after watching the other two today.
That's the thing. I haven't seen like the other two in fucking
Golden
years and years.
Army might be one of my favorite like top 10 movies of all time now.
Next
after watching it today.
after Dark Realm, Thor.
Yeah, no. See, he said Speed Racer earlier when I said that.
Oh, that's actually a fun movie.
Shut up.
Thor: Dark World is just.
See, like Dan, I feel like I'd be on your side if I didn't give a fuck about Hellboy. Like,
Okay, that's the thing. Like, I always kind of thought he was like a cool character and like an interesting design, but I never read the comics, I never really knew anything about it. And it's been a long time since I've seen the first one, but I remember like being really excited, and then I watched it, and I didn't really love it. Like, I was like, yeah, it's kind of fun, it's kind of fine. Like, it does what it wants to do. It just felt like a little too routine, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
or inconsequential.
it's very like by the numbers.
And like, I guess that's one thing. Like, if you consider like actually like craft of filmmaking, blah blah blah, the original ones like have this movie like 10 out of 10 compared to this, which is just a fucking train wreck. But this just seemed weird and quirky and ridiculous. Sometimes like fun ways, sometimes awful. Most of the time, awful in unintentional ways. And I think that's what like the appeal was. That I just thought it was fun garbage.
Yeah, it's like the Alien Resurrection of Hellboy movies. Except
I
I'd
would-
rather watch Alien Resurrection.
Oh, I would
wouldn't-
absolutely not. No, this is a lot
I'd
more fun than
rather
Alien
watch-
Resurrection.
yeah.
I don't want fucking weird French, like, humanoid aliens with giant ball sacks talking to me.
Hey, at least Alien Resurrection actually had Ron Perlman, so
It was just, and like, it almost got me because I'm a huge sucker for like King Arthur legend. So it was like, I'm like, yes, and I was glad. I was like, oh, cool, like Merlin and King Arthur. And then like, even that was like, this could have been cool, but they didn't use it enough. Like they that should have been maybe more.
that shouldn't have been in there.
It maybe probably shouldn't. I just like King Arthur legend.
Sure.
So I was like, this is kind of different. Like a different take on that.
See, but this is part of why the movie made me mad. Is like I like Hellboy as a character. I like folklore. Thought it was cool when like the work like the guys making the movie like Neil Marshall and stuff said, yeah, we want to ride the line between horror movie and superhero movie. I was like, that could be really cool.
And they did not.
Instead, they're like, we're going to make a big schlocky comedy film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of that makes me wonder, not to say that there's like, release the Marshall cut hashtag of this film, but how much of it was like changed in post-production and with like studio meddling, because holy shit, the amount of ADR in this film, like additional voice recording is retarded.
Yeah.
To the point like there's so much like expositionary dialogue just like layered onto scenes that's very obviously like people aren't talking, it's just like voiceover crap explaining stuff that doesn't need explained.
Yeah. No, I assume that like maybe when you hire a horror director and you decide, we're doing a hard R and everything, that there was maybe a vision there.
Yeah.
And then I kind of do get the impression like the studio panicked and they were like, okay, well we've already announced that we were doing an R-rated Hellboy movie, so just make it more like Deadpool, make it really funny. Like we'll put a lot of jokes in there.
I noticed that too. There's like definitely like at the beginning, like right from the get-go, the movie pretty much loses me. Like when the narrator is
the super heavy-handed introduction
like, King fucking Arthur, and I'm like, you know what? No, out.
Yeah.
That was probably like one of the probably the fourth word.
Yeah. No, I was the exact same way. Which again, not to keep bringing up the original. Then I went home and watched the first one, and the first thing just shows text, and then it goes right into Nazi Germany, and I'm like, this is already a million times better.
They don't have to make you wait for your Nazis.
It was just right.
So much better.
Michael Kemp wants instant Nazis in his pictures.
More Nazis. No.
Yikes.
But
it was just like already better. Like right from the beginning of this movie, I was like, nope. And I was just like, why is this in black and white except her red dress? Like, that was a weird choice.
It's artistic, Michael.
But that was the only scene like that.
You know that scene in Schindler's List where it's all black and white, but the little girl's walking down in the red coat? And
yes, because this is the Schindler's
List. Like, this is the Schindler List of superhero films.
Oh my god, just because there's Nazis in it. Oh my god.
God damn it.
Oh my god, like, it baffled me. I'm like, why? Like, I was kept waiting for, like, is there going to be another flashback where they'll do something artsy? No? Okay, why did they do that?
Do you want us to explain art to you?
No.
How it works in film?
Alright, you know what? We're here, so why not?
Oh no.
At a certain point, like, I know this is like a dumb, like, movie for, I don't know, it's like a dumb movie, but like, there was a point where Hellboy is talking to his dad about like, okay, so then what? And then what? You guys know the scene.
Yeah.
Where he's
we
basically
remember
like
the scene.
Basically the evil witch is honeypotting him, and he is thinking like, well, do we have to kill everybody? Can't we like make some kind of like reconciliation with some like monsters or like enemies? And I thought to myself, I didn't think I was gonna be interested in the movie even if they did it, but I thought maybe that's going somewhere. Like,
right.
Maybe they're actually gonna do something where,
like the way a movie would be constructed.
That's an interesting question.
I didn't really think, because like obviously the idea is that the witch is an evil woman that uses sex to lure men. That's obviously what they were going for, but like I thought maybe on some level there is going to be an element of like not solving everything with violence in the movie. No, but
I get what you're saying.
I thought the same thing.
Maybe it's lame, but like
it's pretty lame.
that could be like a thing they could have done, but instead, like. Fuck it, spoilers, right?
Well, we've already, I think, spoiled. Yeah, we've already.
At the end, like the witch is just like, be my king and let's be in love and evil and rule the world together, Hellboy. And then his dad's like, no, be a man, choose your own destiny. And then he's like, then he just like cuts off her head, and then that's the end.
It's so anticlimactic.
And I was like,
he throws in a pool of lava.
And I was watching it, and I was just like, okay, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
Like what?
To conquer evil and save the world.
It was so dumb.
The point is, don't listen to sexy witches.
Yes.
I don't
Females are evil that tempt you with sex.
Don't listen to the evil witches that will tempt you with sex.
I don't think you can apply like real world like social issues to this.
I know it sounds like I'm headed, and I don't mean to take it that way. I just like. I just thought, like maybe do something different.
Yeah, like
maybe do something other than Hellboy. And again, that doesn't necessarily need to be highbrow. Just do something fun and unique. Like, and yeah, like, I'm being honest. Like, solving a problem with something other than violence can actually be fun. I know that sounds like lame, but like, it's not fun that he just like cuts off her head.
Well, yeah,
that's not like a fun scene to watch. It's just like, oh, is he gonna like listen to her and end the world? Well, we've known since the beginning of the movie that he's not, and then he just like cuts off her head, and then it's done. It's like, that wasn't fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of why him being the right hand of doom should not have been a plot in this movie at all.
Yeah.
It's because we already know that story about this character. General audiences already know that's like his prophesized destiny. So we don't need to retread it. And then it also just doesn't work because like there's going to be that moment where it's like, is he going to do it? No, he's not. And then that's the end.
Yeah, like at the beginning, his masked
But don't attack violence. I want the violence.
I'm not like look, violence is fun. I enjoy like violence in movies. I'm just saying like. Sometimes it's fun to do something different. Like the movie,
just have a more interesting, like him just like breaking off his horns and stabbing her and then cutting off her head. Like that was it. It was just like, okay, it's over. Like not that I wanted like some crazy over the top battle, but I wanted something more than that.
Like if you would have ripped your fucking face off.
Maybe I don't know, but I know I didn't want that.
I just think like okay. But we're saying violence is like fun, which I don't necessarily have a problem with. But like, was that fun violence?
No.
Hellboy was the Hellboy killing the witch fun to watch?
I mean,
it was fulfilling like the narrative quote of the film. Yeah, he has to defeat the main bad guy, and he did.
I mean, yeah, but you could do that in a fun way.
Sure, but I mean, at this point, the movie was already so fucking fucked. Like,
no, I'm just pointing out that like it's not like me saying, oh, it didn't need to do that. Is me saying it should have been highbrow. I'm just saying that like. If you're gonna be fun violence, be fun violence.
Sure.
But it's not fun, so do something else.
I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with it, but
yeah.
Where I was at this point in the movie was I was like relieved that he just chopped off her head
It was over.
and threw it into fucking hell because I was like, I cannot wait for this to be over.
Yeah, I was the same way. I wanted to leave. I thought that his Asian dude friend who's like a lichen or something, or like a
he's a were-jaguar.
Yeah, she loved that kind.
Okay, whatever. I thought he was gonna like shoot Hellboy and make Hellboy again think, oh no, I have to be evil, and then we were gonna push the Hellboy turning good for like another 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was so glad it didn't happen.
Yeah,
that's what was gonna happen.
But then it just made that whole point of him getting that bullet kind of like pointless, at least.
See, there could have been an underlying theme here where you could have done more with like, do we just senselessly kill things that are more different from us because they're from hell? You could have done something there and that would have fit in that narrative, but the movie has like just a weird pacing mess where they're like trying to incorporate like 3 different comic book arcs into this movie, plus Hellboy's like prophecy story, plus like weirdly interjected origin stories for both of your side characters.
Yeah.
Where they're just
those
like
are weird.
Well, okay, we're just hanging out. We're going from point A to point B. Yeah, did you know that when I was a baby, fairies replaced me with a pig man? And then it's like, what? And then it's like, okay, well, we're flying a helicopter and we got to go find a Merlin. And it's like, did you know that once I was in the military and a jaguar killed everyone but me? And now I'm a jaguar. And you're like, God. It reminded me of Suicide Squad in all honesty.
I've heard some comparisons to that, yeah. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but I mean, Suicide Squad didn't have hyperviolence.
It didn't. I did like this more than Suicide
That is
Squad.
one thing I will say. If this movie was like PG-13 and sanitized, I would have been like looking at my phone like, the fuck is this shit gonna do?
And I will say, because I had enough interest in the subject matter, even though I think that it just like fucked it all up.
Yeah.
And because I do love ultraviolence, I did go at midnight and I was inebriated and I did not fall asleep through a Superman movie this time.
So Hellboy is better than the Suspiria remake in your book. You heard it here, folks.
That is not what I said.
According to that logic, that's what you said.
That movie was... I was not prepared for how long Suspiria was going to be.
No. But coming back to like what Yasmin said, like, yeah, you're totally grounded in thinking the movie is like falls flat in the climax, and it does, but it's just kind of like going through the motions at that point. But I would say like I enjoyed the whole like demons wreaking havoc on London and like murdering shit out of people a lot more than what Hellboy was actually doing. It was fun. It reminded me of the Eclipse shit from Berserk. Just these weird fucking creations just literally murdering the fuck out of everything in sight.
Yeah, Adrian did point out to me when we were leaving the theater that was the only part that I was like laughing and seemed to enjoy myself. Is when they're just like fucking ripping people apart and their legs are full of like
the big like ones that's like swords for legs and
that
it has like
that
6
was metal
people
as fuck.
stepped on it. Yeah, like,
I was like,
that was fun.
that's stupid and hilarious and I love it.
That's the kind of shit I was like, wow, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying this shit.
Yeah, maybe if the movie was, I don't know, if it just leaned, I guess, maybe more into that and Hellboy wasn't the most annoying person in the world.
I mean, like, it leaned pretty fucking hard into that stuff, though. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like, there are bits that...
more
like,
creative ways to show the violence and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I could have liked, like, I like the gag that, Alice from Resident Evil is like all in a bunch of pieces, and then she's like sitting on the sofa.
Yeah, I actually did like that.
I was like, that's fun, but then it turns into look at the world. It's all reality television and music videos, and I'm like, shut the fuck up! You cast spells. You're a fucking asshole. And then like you got betrayed by other witches, and then like they show up and you murder them except for one, and then nothing happens with that for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, did you just forget about that?
Oh yeah,
probably. Yeah. The whole Baba Yaga thing pops up, and then like nothing else happens.
I hear that Baba Yaga is like in an end credit scene, and I hear that so is Lobster Johnson. And maybe that's why.
Oh shit! Well, we gotta go see it again. Then.
No, stop doing end credit scenes, movies.
Yeah,
stop.
Like the lights came on in the theater, so I just assumed, so there's not an end credit scene. Cool, I can leave.
I left.
You walked out before the movie even ended.
As soon as they did, when I realized that they wanted to end on one more like action sequence, I was like, I'm not here for this.
You missed Abe Sapien's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And some Rip Roar and Motley Crue actions.
I just couldn't bring myself to care. It was like the movie's over. Why am I?
I was actually like, wow, it took him that long to walk out.
Oh yeah, I'll be honest. Like, it's not because a lot of it had to do with the time, and I was very tired. But this is like the most I've ever been tempted to walk out of a movie. No, this is a goofy, dumb, bad, poorly made film.
Yeah.
And I love the heck out of it.
Fair enough. It's like the Michael Kemp of movies. It's a fucking wreck, but Dan loved it.
Yep. Yeah.
Is that it? We got anything else to say?
Like Hopper was real bad.
Yeah. He was horrible.
Yeah. Didn't do such a good job. Anyway.
All right.
Oh, we're gonna watch Game of Thrones now.
This is gonna be out way after Game of Thrones.
Probably gonna be more boring than Hellboy. Fun fact: Neil Marshall directed the Battle of the Blackwater episode.
Is that right?
Yeah,
that's a good episode.
Yeah,
hey, The Descent is a good movie
too.
The
Descent's a great movie. He also did, I think, the one with the battle on the wall. I forget the actual episode.
Watches on the Wall. Yeah.
Watches on the Wall. He
Look at that! I know more than he has about Game of Thrones.
You beat me to it.
Yeah.
Ashamed.
All right. The best.
WolfPunch.